Alrighty, Doc here from North America. Just another fun-filled day. Can we hear me? Can I hear me now? Yes, I can hear me now. Okay, there you go. You heard me. Whoop, there you go. Got it in the background. That's excellent, excellent, excellent. Look what we got looking at there. We're looking at gold this morning. Is that gold? Yes, that's gold. It's inching its way back up to the 2,000 area. Interesting. It's nice to see it get its life into it. We keep on thinking when we look at our algorithm, the Chicago Quant algorithm. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Right there. We think that with this white line starting to pierce through the time manifold again, that this could actually put some energy into this thing, or that's telling us that the energy is coming in. Really, that's what it comes down to. This is not making it. This is not making the market move. The market moves, and this reads it. And so what we're seeing is that we were looking for this. We said this last Friday, I guess, and Thursday, and then we actually posted it in one of the futures magazines that we thought that this thing getting across the time manifold itself might be an indication of a good buy. See how we get into a buy and we fail. We get into, oh, you can't see it. Oh, let's try that again. We get into a buy and it fails after a day, if not less, or a day or 2 days, and it fails. And the same thing here. It pops the next day and fails. And we're thinking that we might get something like this, a little bit more strength. Maybe, go challenge the 2000s a little bit. Nothing major, but just a little inching there. Hey, Farkash, how you doing? Oh, the microphone. How about now? Is that better? So that's what we're thinking at there. That was kind of like in our mind. We were thinking that last week. Oh yeah, I hear that too. I can see it was much better. So that's where our heads are at. And so we're thinking that's what's going to happen. It's going to find a way to do that. It's going to start, if it closes, especially on Friday. Well, today's only Tuesday, so we have a lot of room in between. But that just that action, keeping it above the time manifold, probably means we're going to start seeing some strength. Yeah, I know. I've been bad. I keep on saying I'm going to get out and get another microphone, and I have not. It doesn't end. Everything, just too many things to do, and I haven't gotten near anything that. Let me think. Was I near anywhere that would sell a microphone? I don't think so. So that's where we're at with that one. But anyway, that's what we're thinking with the charts and our work. We're thinking that we're going to see that now. Looking on J4X, you can see the white line is just ripped straight through, and we got 4 days of green bars there, whereas we've been oscillating in and out with some red. So hopefully we'll see this thing start to carry forward just a little bit, and then I can imagine it going again back into a digestion or a little correction mode again. It has had a fantastic run. You can only expect so much out of it. I mean, I'm not really looking for like another 200 points or something like that over the next 3 weeks. Not like we've had before where we were pretty adamant. We thought we were going to see a couple hundred points in a few weeks, and we actually got it. This time around, we're just looking for this product to, just show a little bit more follow through, and that's pretty much all we're really looking for now is just a little solid momentum follow through, and it looks like it's trying to do it with the as I showed here. Let's get that spreadsheet up there too. With the action, this right here. Getting through our time manifold there. So, let's see. What else can we say about that stuff? I guess nothing else, really. That's where we were standing there. Now what we can do is jump over to... And yesterday, we did take apart the futures versus the spot. That was kind of surprising. I had not seen the spot act so bad for so long. It was like, wow. That's the only way to describe it is wow. And so that was a surprise there. Let's get the futures up there this morning, or not the futures, the spot itself for Dukascopy there. That was a real surprise to see how bad. I hadn't traded the future and watched the future in a while, so it was really a surprise to see how poorly it acted. And that was really a surprise, enormous surprise actually. All right. There, we're going to go over to the euro. Let's check out the euro. Unless someone like, Forecash or anybody out there wants to look at any particular product, just let us know. But, we'll investigate anything you have a desire for to look at through our mathematics and our interpretation through the J4X and so forth and so on, That is usually the way we roll around here. And if not, we'll just go jump into the euro and take a look and see what the euro is up to. But more than likely, it's showing strength this morning. I did see that, which is really cool. Let's see, now what else am I adding there? Oh, yes, that's where it is, right there. There we go. So you can see here, what is that? That's NAS dollar, and there's euro. And you can see here the strength of it right there. Lots of green and moving up. You can see the same thing here in J4X. Lots of green and moving up to another level. I don't know how to interpret these things. Oh, Bitcoin. We can take a look at Bitcoin. I'm not really sure if this is just a little weakness of dollar, or, I keep on expecting the dollar to be weak, so we've gotten that weakness now. And I look to see for the dollar to go down a little bit more from here. That may be part of it. The way the euro is lifting up is pretty impressive. Now, here is, let's see, do we have the right we got to put, that's the September contract. Yeah, so this is a September contract. So this is Bitcoin in the futures in the September contract, and you can see, no, you can't see. Now you can see. Okay, there we are. And so what you can see here is, it's going into the daily buy again. You can see it right there. Let's see it over here on J4X. I did mention yesterday, I talked to Wilco over the weekend, and we're going to try to get a good find a source that feeds my machine so that we can follow some more of these cryptocurrencies at the same time. Dukascopy has the Bitcoin right there, but I imagine they actually probably have a few other things floating around or getting close to it. It's interesting to see the blockchain / alternative asset class start to evolve slow and steady there. And there you can see that. Oh, Hassan, how you doing? Still you expecting that the euro will still go up? It's acting that way. That's what our math is telling us. It hasn't. We can go right back to that after we get done with the Bitcoin on with Farcash. But you can see here, that's the Bitcoin action. We're seeing this island type structure. We're wondering if this is like the head and shoulders or island top, and they're going to bring it down, which is kind of hard to believe. But we went into the weekly sell a few weeks ago. And you can see here, this is still trying to climb in the Bitcoin. So we're all seeing this stuff climb at the moment. Now we can slide back to if Farcash, if that satisfies you, let me know. And I'm going to go over and show Hassan the euro again and show him what we're thinking about. And then and if you have another question, then we can jump back to the Bitcoin for you. Let's see, euro on the wall, right there. Okay. And let's see, where's the euro? Let's go back to the euro there for a second. Whoa, I'm wrong one. There we are. Let's find the euro. Somewhere in here is the euro. Wow, that's neat. Look at all of them. They're all very organized. Isn't that cute? I guess we could leave it like that, There it is right there. And you can see here, what we're thinking is that there's probably like another leg to go up. And then when we go over to J4X, it'll show us, it's a little bit easier to show the past action, well, actually, it's not that easy, is it? Back to 2018. I guess we're just making highs and highs and higher. Let's go take a look at it on a weekly basis. I thought they were going to try to lift up just a little bit more. I guess you can see these two peaks. I'm going to try to spread this out a little bit. Right here in the 119 area, we're there. We're heading for this peak here. And there were some traders in the room here 3 and 4 weeks ago looking for 125. So as long as we're in a weekly buy and a daily buy, each time we are in those both sequences, we say, yes, it's probably trying to climb. And you can see at the same time in our work, We've been in a weekly buy now for 15 full weeks right there on our fact check spreadsheet. You can see that also. We're highlighting it as we speak, and you can see. So there's been some push on the upside here. This product, and I think the dollar wants to go lower. I think it wants to go. I think it's down, I guess, about 10% for the year, and I really think it wants to get down maybe 12 or 13% for the year, something like that, right around that area. I don't see that being death defying on any level. I think there's a problem with selling dollars, because of the election and all. But right now, I kind of think that the old saying on the old New York Stock Exchange floor was, you have to take it down to take it up. And so we've already been up as far as I'm concerned. So maybe they're taking it down to take it up again. I don't see these things stepping out of their ranges that much. So if we get a 3 or 4% more move down on the dollar, that's got to equate to a couple percentage points up, which could be that 125 area. A lot of people, like right here, have been looking for since the late 2017 going into 2018. So that would make some sense. Yeah, I can see that. Or at least you got to figure they're going to go into the 122s and bang the bottom of this. One or the other. So if they don't take out the top, I would think that they would at least hit the bottom. So that's where our minds are at on that. We can jump around to what we normally do is we go to the cable. If anybody wants to see anything else besides the cable at the moment, just shout it out. If not, we'll just start heading in that direction again. And then we can just change. It's very easy to change the product. It doesn't take much, like right there. There's the cable. And let it fill in. And so, it's it is the structure that we follow, but we don't need to follow that structure. Doc likes to explore, see new ideas, come up with new concepts, and when we do that, it becomes fascinating as far as I'm concerned. I find I learn more. We've added more indicators to the J4X because of it, and we've come up with new ideas and so forth, by just discussing some of these things. Daniel, was it you, Daniel, that was looking for that 125 in the euro? Who was looking for that 125? We talked about that a month ago or so. Maybe it was from Canada. I forget his name, his ticket thing. Okay. And Bitcoin bullish, yeah. I'll tell you, they're trying to lift them, and that's for sure. It's not like they're going down. I mean, we just looked at Bitcoin for Farkash. Yeah, I'm trying to think of his name. He's an engineer. It has that look like it's trying to get there. We've been, since, for a while now. You can see on the spreadsheet here, line 14, 15 weeks in a weekly buy in that euro. So, and the cable's trying to catch up. You can see 7 weeks now in a buy right there. You see the action we're seeing in here, and you can see it also here. We're seeing same strength on the short term there. So, I mean, overall, it just keeps on telling us that the dollar is there. It is. MHB. Hello. I knew I could. I was trying to remember. We're just figuring that, we keep on seeing more strength, and I keep on thinking that we're going to see the 88s, 89, something like that in the dollar futures contract. So I would imagine that's how that's going to play out in the end. We'll see that, and then what will happen is, then I guess they'll bottom a little bit in there, and we'll start to see the reverse again. I don't know. What if Europe? I have these conversations every day. The markets are really starved for return, and people are trying to find something, something to get a return on, and it really forces. Look at the FANGs. I'm starting to have some type of fantasy. Are the FANGs going to go challenge the Dow? In other words, Dow's at what, 29,000? Are we going to see the FANGs jump up into the 1819s, 22s? Are the two of them going to be battling with each other? Look at the philosophical takeover of did I get that one right? No. Look at the philosophical takeover of the Dow Industrial Average, the Dow Jones Industrial 30. It's slowly accumulating, NASDAQ stocks in it. And now they're adding, I think, one or two more of them now, right? Amgen and Shop something or another, Shopify, or I don't know, one of these things. They're, or Salesforce. That's it, Salesforce.com, right? So the question now is that are we starting to see a NASDAQ 100 that is starting to challenge the Dow Jones Industrial Average? It's become a very interesting thing. Matter of fact, you could almost say to some extent that Honeywell now is almost like a NASDAQ stock than it is a old New York Stock Exchange stock. Yeah, it seems like it, MHP. I kind of agree with you. You can see that characteristic going on. You can see that that push is there. I'm with you there. I mean, it does seem to be like there is that strength, and it doesn't seem like it's going to go away. It just seems like it's just going to keep on pulsating. So, I guess that's the only way we can really measure it, is the fact that we're seeing a real homogenizing structure that goes on with all the asset classes now across the planet. And so we've seen Europe in a funk for such a long time. Is it coming to the point where it's coming out the door finally? In other words, is it finally going to show some life? I mean, it has that look to it, like it could be. It literally could be the beginning of another bull market. I mean, I think Trump's going to win the election, and when he wins the election, I think that the markets. Hey, IVB, welcome to the hood again. This is like 3 out of 4 days. My God, welcome back. Good to see you. Let's see. So Daniel says in January 220, Bitcoin was around 71, right? And Ether 130. Today, Bitcoin is at basically 12,000, right? And Ether is at 470. Yeah, I think it was Wilco was saying something about that also. The action in it. It's definitely, and Bitcoin has the futures contracts holding it back. I mean, I don't know if I can really frame it. I don't know if I can really frame it as the futures contract holding it back, or it's a more liquid market because of that, and it keeps it lower. I mean, I think that could be the truest way of honestly looking at it. And it wouldn't surprise me any that if they had a futures contract in any of the other products too, it wouldn't surprise me if they climbed at the same velocity as Bitcoin. Bitcoin, in other words, almost 2,000 was the all-time high. And Bitcoin is, nowhere near that. It's like the Chinese market now. It's like 33% off its all-time highs. So, it says something's going on there. I mean, it makes it very clear that money can't lift that like it used to lift it before there was a futures contract connected to it. And so it looks like to me the futures have slowed it down, which is okay. It's, let's put it this way. In some ways, you would. The one thing that surprised me was that Bitcoin was able to get slaughtered in the February-March sell-off down to under 5,000. So it's doubled since then and almost tripled. Okay, and so that's been impressive. That has been impressive. Because Bitcoin, not measuring it January, but looking at the lows of February, March. It was 4,700, and now it's gotten up into the 13,000. So it's very close to triple. But the difference is that Ethereum, obviously has done that triple with no problem. But again, that futures contract could be slowing it down. And I think that the markets, what does it do for Europe? When you really think about it, what does it do for Europe with Trump winning? I would say a lot. I think it would be more positive than negative with Trump winning, because more markets are going to be opened, and the United States is going to go towards Europe before they go to China now. So China has damaged its brand name, and so in a capitalist marketplace, the only thing now is that it has a great socialist name, but that's not going to get it far, because they have not really been very productive as a socialist country. They've been productive as supplying labor to a capitalist country. They're almost like a colony of ours, and so it's been very strange. For them to fight with us as much as they fought with us, you would have thought they would just say, okay, we're going to discount it, take it, and just move along. Instead, they're fighting with us over, being paid $300, $400, $500 billion a year for opportunity. So now we're pulling back, and it's not going to be as profitable for them. And will Europe? I think Europe's going to benefit from it. I have to believe the rest. Look, the United States was putting out as much as $500 billion a year buying stuff through China. You don't. You would have to assume that Africa, South America, Europe, and some of the Asian countries wouldn't mind getting a couple of, getting a little slice of that. And so that's how I see that action. People are migrating to Ethereum from Bitcoin. I would think so. That would make sense. I was thinking the same thing. I do think that the futures contract is a positive, not a negative. That's the only difference, is that I know that sounds kind of odd, but I actually do see the futures contract as a positive, as an old exchange member. I think that it shows some more transparency, and trust me, I don't think we see a lot of transparency. I think it's all screwed up, our transparency anymore. But the real question is that are we going to see more deals? And Trump is the deal maker. Will he make more deals with Europe and the rest of the world away from China, and they'll benefit? And maybe that's why we're seeing a weaker dollar, because see, that's the problem. When we deal with China, they don't really have a currency that's meaningful. It trades less than 1% of world markets. That's not good. I mean, if you're going to be the second largest economy in the world, you have to have a currency that has a little bit more floating power. It has to have a little bit more deal opportunity, and it doesn't. And so that's the problem right there alone. That is the problem. Let's see. So S&P, Nasdaq, gold, silver, oil are all bullish. It seems so. We can take a look at more of it here. Let's see. Which one did you throw? Let's show the Nasdaq 100. The Nasdaq 100 keeps on making like all-time highs. It just doesn't know how to get out of its own way, and it's starting to make me wonder. As I said a little while ago, are they going to make a run at the Dow in number-wise? So in other words, no, not that. That's a dollar index. Nas 100. Where are you? There it is, right there. U.S. Tech 100. Let's see. Careful. Let's see. Ferris says, "Be with the S&P. It seems to be losing steam." I agree, and forming a short-term top. I totally agree. Yesterday, it tried to push into a daily sell, and as a matter of fact, it's on my sheet this morning as a daily sell. I agree with you, but we're still in weekly buys, and you can see here, like right underneath it, the Nasdaq 100, 13 days in a buy, 21 weeks in a buy. All right, so I mean, we've been in a buy in this thing. Let's see if we can get on here. Let's go to J4X where I have it listed, and then we can go back to the. All right, let's go onto Chicago Quant and see if we can find it. Let's see, where is it at? Right there. So right there it is. So we've been in a weekly buy in this product 21 weeks, which is all the way back to April. Okay, first week in April, last week in March, basically the combination of the two. And so when you look at the S&P 500 as Ferris says, be careful. You can see here we keep on sliding in and out. Now, last night the work showed it down at 5 o'clock, but they adjusted it. They put more information in at 5:36 or 7. They're not loading all the data into this stuff anymore. There's seems to be hidden trades going on, and then they load it in later on, which basically affect it. And you can see we're not in the daily sell, and we're really back into the buy. So what I'm just going to do is, instead of this one being here, what we're going to do is we're going to move it over again because we're in the buy, but we're not. Let's do that again, right there. But what we're not going to do is we're not going to make it 8 the way it was, or 9 or whatever it was. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This is going on the 9th day. We're just going to declare it as 1 because at one point it closed after 5 o'clock, which we use Eastern Standard Time as our settlement. But here the chart adjusted going into the night. More volume was put into yesterday's day. They put more volume and activity in there and open interest. Let's see. Silver will likely make new yearly highs. Yeah, Daniel, Robin, and I have been talking about that. We kind of think we're going to see that action in that. We really do. Let's see. IVB says, Doc, I have a question. Do you see SMB price intervention in the Swiss, or consider is fair supply demand price action? I'll tell you, I think Swiss is a wonderful offset to the dollar. It seems to be doing a really fine job. We talked about this a couple weeks ago. I really have a lot of respect for the Swiss National Bank. I was telling someone yesterday, as everybody is starved for return, all these money managers are starved for return. I was telling one of our subscribers at the Chicago Quant, I was saying to them that back in early March, for a couple days we looked at the Swiss National Bank and how they at the lows of the marketplace stepped up and increased their position in Amazon and Apple and Microsoft and Google and Facebook, and I think a couple of mainstream old stocks too. We can go back and find that video and look at it. And I was posting it and I was talking about it, how sharp they are there. The Swiss National Bank is functional, and they're up like 30%. I mean, they bought the lows, and their portfolio has exploded from it. In other words, they're taking money out of thin air and they're buying these assets, and they're plowing that money into smart investments. So I'm a big fan of it. And then when you go to, let me just show you. When you go to the Swiss franc, let's go up and look at the Swiss franc here. When you look at the Swiss franc, it's line 21 on our spreadsheet. 14 weeks in a sell, which means it's gaining in value, and 5 days in a sell. You just see this thing just finding ways to make more money. Money's pouring into that country, and so unfortunately, too bad Switzerland isn't the size of China. I mean, it would be like, wow, what an industrial nation that would be. But the Chinese are communists, and they're not really capitalists. You can't really buy into their country and invest with that without being trapped and lose your assets half the time. So it makes it very tough. But yeah, I like the Swiss. I think the Swiss bank itself, like the Swiss franc and the Saltine there. I really think that it's a good do, and it's a good alternative to the dollar. But it's thin, but it's still a good alternative to the dollar. So IVB, I agree. What a good subject matter there. Fair supply demand. I really do. I think it is a good fair supply. Daniel says that the Euro Turkish lira. Yeah, let's see what that thing's doing. Well, I guess they had that oil thing going on with that, right? I mean, there's articles out there about them drilling, and the European Union is telling them they can't drill there, and they're trying, and you can see I think this is going on like a 4th day. You can see it here on the J4X. There's been some pressure on this thing. Let's show it here. Is that wrong? Not that one. It's this one right here. And let's just look at it there. There's the Turkish lira, and it's trying to come back to the buy, as you can see there, right there. That action. But you can see we're in a weekly buy. You can see this thing's been in a weekly buy for 39 weeks now. 3 days in a sell, but 39 weeks. I mean, it looks like it wants to go a whole year. Where is it? Right there. It went into the buy in December of last year, December 13th. It just does not quit. It just keeps on climbing. And it tried, the white line you can see here, tried to dip underneath, but the histogram was just still on the plus side. And, it just, it's just really something. It's one of the weirder things. I guess we're seeing like the South African rand slash, the Russian ruble slash, the Turkish lira slash, all kind of having that pressure problem, So, see, Daniel says, it seems that the dollar lately is weak against the lira. Yeah, I guess that's because the European Union is standing up and dealing with it more now. So Swiss National Bank did the same thing. Vanguard, BlackRock, yes, they stepped up and bought. Matter of fact, they bought early. They bought the first and second weeks of they bought close to the low of the sell-off, and I mean very low, a week away or right on top of it, or like that type of thing. Started about 2 weeks beforehand, averaged in. They increased some size. I'm telling you, it was like they bought in like 4 billion. Like I think I had the numbers up on the screen. Something like $4 billion of Apple, $4 billion worth of Google, something like $3.5 or $4 billion worth of Microsoft, $2 billion worth of Facebook. Did I say Google? I meant Amazon, and then $2 billion in Google. And then I'm trying to think. There was somebody else in the FANG in there. I did mention Apple, right? I don't think it was Netflix or anything like that. And then they bought about 5 or 6 old industrials. New York Stock Exchange stocks. It did okay. Like a Bristol Myers Squibb type of thing. That type of thing there. It's pretty sharp people there. If you're going to move capital in a direction, that's a pretty smart place to go. Let's see. Daniel says that SMB has assets of 120 billion. Yeah, and they were before they did that average in, they were like 85 or 89 billion or something like that, or 86 billion. They added like 33% to their portfolio. It was really wild. Yeah, they really did a good job. Hey, no problem, IVB. It's just it really is. Matter of fact, I know this is going to sound a little strange, but I feel the same way about the peso, the Mexican peso. I know we end up looking at the peso for you once in a while. I feel the same way with that too. I think there's going to be benefit there. I think you're seeing it. Matter of fact, I think you're seeing it now when you look at the Canadian. Let's put the Canadian on the Forex. I think you see it in the Canadian. You see it in the peso. You can see them. Look at them. The trend is down. That means it's going up in value. I think that a Trump America is a financially healthier one for the peso and the Canadian and so forth. And let's see, where's it at? Where's the peso? Let's see if we can get it up on there. There it is, right there. Yeah, same thing there too. I really do. I feel like there's great potential there. It's Daniel who looks at the peso a lot too. Yeah, bearish in the sense that it's going to gain more value because it goes down, exactly, which means there's less pesos to buy, which is healthy. Yeah, I think that, Trump, look, Trump has a book out there. It's called The Art of the Deal. It's supposedly the third highest or second highest ever sold book in the world, or in the United States, or something like that. I know it's number 2 in the United States. The Bible's number 1, and Trump's book is number 2. And so, this guy does a lot of negotiating. He's a strange bug, but he does a lot of negotiating, and he can be, he's very, I call him a blue collar billionaire. Because he's a construction guy. Would you believe all his kids can weld and run backhoes and do wiring and stuff like that? They're all, he raised them to understand the construction business, and because he grew up in the construction business. And so, can you imagine, what's his daughter's name? Ivanka, is it? Or that's the wife, right? Melania? One of them. can you? I mean, she's a tall blonde. Can you imagine her with a welding hat on? I mean, he had her on a backhoe, learning how to use a backhoe. You see her using an electrical tester, testing a circuit box. I mean, he's spreading that idea into his presidency. He's been pushing on it. He signed that new deal with Canada. He got rid of NAFTA, the North American Free Trade Act, and created the Canadian Mexican American Trade Act. He's that has to be positive financially. You just have to figure that's what the markets are moving on. At the same time, you got to assume the dollar has to be going down on it because it's so overvalued. I mean, we've got a dollar that has been trading in the 103s and the 104s and the 102s, and we're used to the dollar trading at 75, 85, for years, and then all of a sudden we got stuck with this really expensive dollar. So, it's hard to use fundamentals to understand what's going on. But one thing is for sure, it looks like markets are going to come roaring back. So, and that has to be positive for the three nations alone, just in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. It has to be positive for Europe. I mean, you just got to figure there's going to be more buying over there. We're going to buy more things from you, or for the Europeans. You got to figure that we were spending $400 and $500 billion a year in China, and we're not doing that anymore. Now we're only going to spend like $250 billion or $175 billion, or under $300 billion. So there's like $200 billion that has to go somewhere. As I take a bite of the apple. Boy, I just heard a funny noise. I don't know what that is. Let me check my phone. Oh, that's what the battery might run out. Okay. So, that's where we are. Let's see. What else can we say about anything else? I guess what we can do is we can take a look at... Anybody want to see anything particular? We'll just keep on hunting around and looking for more things to look at. Let's see. While everybody starts figuring out what to put up there, let's see what we can come up with here. We looked at the Canadian. We didn't look at it through our work. Let's take a look at it real quick through our work here. And we'll look at the peso the same way. So there's the Canadian, seeming to do the same thing. We've been in a weekly sell since up in here, up in the 136 area, and now we're in the 130 area. And let's look at the peso. There it is. Now the peso has been in a weekly sell since was that July 24th? And it hasn't really made a real good move. I mean, it went down, and then when as low as it went up, and now it's back down there, and now it's well below the weekly sell here, of 23.5 area. So it has that look, and you can see it over here. It's pressing down, and then I think we have it up on J4X at the same time. You can see it's pressing down. So matter of fact, you can see on J4X that the white line and so forth are pretty well heading towards the total bottom end of the range there. I'm going to sell you an avocado for a Bitcoin. You're going to sell me? How much can you get for me? Am I worth anything? $1. I think that the cryptos have to be respected. I just think they just have to be. In this crazy era of fundamentals don't make a lot of sense anymore. It's really hard to disrespect the cryptocurrencies. I really do. Let's see. Daniel says, I agree that the Bible is the highest sold book of all time, and the art of the deal is not really number 2 in all-time rankings. Also, there are other business books that have higher numbers. Are there really? Because I heard that in the United States, it's the number 2 most sold book. That's what I don't know about ratings. I just know that he's the second highest selling book in America. This is before he was president. So I'm not sure about rankings, but I know that in dollar terms, he's second to the Bible. No, I hear you. I hear you. Oh, look, he's a salesman. So I mean, as much as he's a negotiator, he's a salesman too, and so he's always saying stuff. But I have seen that it's the second most sold book in America. So, but I can imagine there's other stuff out there. Cryptos makes more sense than ever before, at least as long as the markets touch reality again. Yeah, or how about lack of touching reality again? I mean, that's what the real question is. Is that how do you, how do you really price some of the stuff? Fair value anymore. It's really hard to price fair value. It's a, I mean, the way of understanding fundamentals now are just not anywhere near what they used to be. They're very strange, and so that's why cryptos have a legitimacy, because you can say, look, cryptos don't have any assets to back it up. So, but at the same time, you can say, well, look at assets. Assets are through the roof, and they don't make any sense. I mean, if it wasn't for the FANG stocks, I think the Dow would be down for the year, right? Same thing with the S&P 500. It would be down. So, it's like it's very hard to try to interpret market direction through fundamentals anymore. All right. Let's see. What was else on that list that Daniel had said? I'm going to take from the list and go look through it a little bit here. Let's see. Daniel said, where was it at? He named a list there. Where was it at? Daniel said it was after IVBD did it asked with the S&Ps. There it is. Let's see. Forrest was talking about the shorting of the S&P. I was agreeing with that. Let's see. Let me see if I can find that list. I don't see that list. How could that list disappear? It's around here somewhere. There's like 4 or 5 products in it. Oh, gold. Let's take a look at gold. We haven't looked at gold. I think gold was in that list also. I am not an American, but really feel bad for Americans that actually think that Trump is dumb. Yeah, I know. It's really strange. No, I know. It's just it's when you don't have a media anymore. We don't have a media. Like every time someone tries to tell me stuff like that, and I go, he was the top of, and they ridicule him graduating the University of Pennsylvania at Wharton, right, at the top of his class or one of the top of his class, and I go, and he was top of his class at his military academy. They always get quiet. It's like they don't know what to say. They're like, Trump went to a military academy, and it's like, yeah, he was there for 4 years. He was head captain. Top person. There it is. Gold. Yeah, let's take a look at gold and oil. There's the list. Why don't I see that list? I could have sworn I saw it earlier. Let's put oil. Let's see. Let's go to gold. We'll go to gold first and then go to oil. Yeah, the last thing he is dumb. I mean, with what he's had to go through, he is brilliant. Now look at that. I mean, this thing is diving down, and we're not seeing price drop in the oil. Okay, I ended up hitting oil first. All right, so you can see that, and then let's see what it's doing with the, our quant over here. Let's see, right there, and then we'll go from gold to there. You see here, same thing. It's been down for a couple days. You can see it on our spreadsheet. Right there, it's 4 days in a sell, but it's 17 weeks in a buy. And you can see it's holding up, and that white line is playing that time manifold. It's not, it's hugging it. It showed weakness, after here, this topping action. You can see the white line broke underneath the time manifold, but it's hugged it. So it hasn't really dropped much. And so that is, and I agree with Ferris. I mean, it's like, why anybody would think he's stupid, I have no idea. None. The only reason you could say he's stupid is that he gave up having a lot of fun as a billionaire to be president of the United States, but then that's like a historic thing. I mean, the idea now he's cemented into American history. He's not just some like J.P. Morgan, was a financier and very powerful financier, and he's respected historically. But as years go on and as Wall Street disappears, J.P. Morgan and his name and Vanderbilt and all those people are going to kind of disappear. Trump was like them, a billionaire in this age. Now he's president of the United States. He's locked into history. He's going to be a part of it forever. So, yeah, I agree with the laugh out loud. Let's see. Now that's what is this? This is oil. All right, now let's take a look at gold right underneath it. 21 weeks in a buy and 3 days in a sell. Right there. Right there. You see it's trying to climb up here. We've jumped through the dotted line, or what I like to call the three-dimensional zero line right there. And you can see it doing the same thing here. It's jumping above here a little later. And what else can we say about that? We have more red dots than here. And at the same time, what else can we say about it? But it's all right. That's how I started off. That's right. We looked at gold right at the very, very beginning. I've been curious to watch to see how it tries to hold the time manifold and move from there. All right, now who else is on that list? So let's take a look at silver. We'll go to silver from there. And silver looks like it really wants to try to lift more. Robin thinks that it's going to, at Chicago Quant, he keeps on saying to me that he really thinks that the thing could leap to 50 again. I have my doubts, but you know what? That's what makes a market. A buyer and a seller. I mean, we both are bullish on it. I'm thinking it'll get up to 38, something like that. And, he does make sense. It could be a panic. They all of a sudden, they get to 38, and next thing you know, it's 50. We don't know how many shorts are really out there. You can see it's trying to climb through the daily buy number again today. This time manifold, the white line is still underneath it. If this thing could get through it, we could start to see some real good action again on the upside there. And that's what we've been really watching for, to see if we're going to get that follow through, that consistent rhythm thing, See the rhythm, feel the beat. And so that's really part of the action that we've been seeing, is we're seeing the metals trying to, they every time they go into a sell, they find a way to go back into the buy, and every time they get it back into the buy, they roll back into the sell. It's like this back and forth, which means that it's having, there's not enough follow through at the moment. And the sellers are trying to, I guess you could say they're trying to capitalize on the buyers, and I think that they want to take them up. That's what I think. It does have that look. I don't think it's going to be zoomed to the moon up, but I think they want to take them up, and I think that's what we're watching right here, right now, and that is that the gold bugs, who will buy no matter what, are not going to let go. And I don't think, I think it's inverse relationship to the dollar, honestly, because I really think that's what we're really seeing more than anything else. The reason why gold was able to finally make all-time highs in the dollar, whereas there must have been 80 some odd currencies that had the gold, through all-time highs for a long while. So that to me says that exactly it. It's an inverse relationship to the dollar itself. I think that's the best way to seriously look at it. I really think that is the answer to it all. So let me think. Does anybody want to see anything else So that's the that is what it is. Okay. What else do we have here that we can talk about? I think what else did he say? Oil. We did oil, right? Yes, we did. So he says, Daniel says, S&P, NASDAQ, gold, silver, and oil all bullish, and that was the list. Yeah. Okay. All right. So now we are. What are we at now? Let's see. We're looking on J4X. That's the. Let's take a look at the oil and gold on there too. There's the oil. And it's buried. I think I said that. It's buried, but it's not appreciating down. And we looked at the metals. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 because it's up again today when it tried to go into a sell last night. And what else we can say about that? They've added some of those new stocks. It's interesting. Interesting on many, many levels. And you can see there, look at it. It's just been climbing. And it tried to weaken yesterday, but the white line is still holding up. And like I said, over on ours, the product really had tried to slide underneath last night, and they put more volume into it after the close and went back into a buy again. It's like, what? Where's that volume coming in secretly? It seems like it's just very odd. Very, very odd. So now, let's see what else can we look at. We didn't look at the yen, and Shinsan Abe is going to step down, so that could be interesting. Let's take a look at the yen real quick. Usually the yen marches with the dollar. Let's see what it's doing here. Right there, showing a little weakness there, and you can see on the spreadsheet that's line 19. We're 11 weeks in a sell and just a couple days in a sell, and you can see the pressure that's on that. And then when we slide over to our quant, right there, you can see that's where we started off the weekly sell. In the was it the 107-ish area, 106-ish area, almost like 106.75, 80, 85.90, something like that. You can see it didn't really do much. It has tried to play down, and the sells have been and the buys have been relatively good at the same time. BLEH, BLEH, is that a stock? Oh, wait a minute. Okay, the dollar yen caused me a loss today. What did they do? It's almost unchanged though. What did they do? They sold it down, and then they lifted it back up on you. I think that's what happened. That's what happened to the marketplace. I can see. I don't know what happened with you. We can look at it a little bit closer. You can see the weakness there for the last couple of days. But it really, it went into the sell here, and it's higher. At the same time, you can see our weekly is trying to challenge it. Do you have any opinion on the new prime minister coming in? I mean, that's I guess is that his name, BLEH? I haven't really read anything lately. Just that Shinsan Abe said that he wanted to step down for his health and so forth. All right. Anything else, traders? We got about 3 or 4 minutes we can still do. So if there's anything out there you guys want to see, I'm trying to think, have I missed anything? I think we've gotten most of the currencies up there. We even got the Turkish lira back up there. And a nice little look at the Swiss. We've looked at all the commodities we normally look at. So what else can we look at? I'm just waiting for anybody. BLEH, as in blah or psi, etc. Oh, for Shinsan Abe, you mean? Now that came out last Wednesday, last Tuesday. It was last week at the beginning of the week. Maybe it was last Monday. He announced it. It's been around for a little while, that's for sure. Hey, no problem. IVB, always glad to see you in the house. Yeah, I was talking with Wilco. Remember Wilco? He was in, hanging out. Now all we need is who else? A few of the other names I haven't seen in a long while, and we've changed some things on the spreadsheet because people, have asked for it, and me, I'll switch things on spreadsheet if they're here every day. So that's usually the way to go. All right. I guess one of the other things I want to try to figure out is what should be the title of today's marketplace. Our webinar. Anybody have an opinion on what it should be? Dow looks overbought. Interesting. I'm seeing that up on the Skype over on Dukascopy. Yeah, I think. Let me show you the Dow on my work. I think it's in a daily sell for 2 days now. Let's see, where's it at? Well, you can see it here on my options one. You can see it's challenging the trend line that I developed from the dots that I call it over here. And then let's just show you the diamonds themselves. But there's pressure on. Yeah, I agree. There's definitely pressure on the Dow. Let's see, IVB Forex is kind of bad these days, or, well, yeah, isn't that the truth? It was always bad, or it was always bad, and it doesn't keep a strong direction, one way or another, like the stocks do. Yeah, well, the central banks control all of them now. Dan, you're right. I like the Forex price dynamics, but at times it gets in the wrong direction. Yeah, I agree with you. Stocks and alter coins have made the most gains for me. Yeah, I hear you there. Now, let me see if we can find it right here. Here's the Dow. This is the ETF. It's going on its second day of a sell now. But look at the weekly. It's up. All this is up. All right, we got to figure out a name for this this webinar. What should we call it today? What can we say the title is? So we'll call the title today. What can we call the title today? How about a topping market? Or no, the opposite. Maybe I don't know. I don't have a name for it. Some days it's easy to have a name for this thing, but today I don't really have one. Someone shouts something out, I'll put it up there. All right, we're going to get out of here. This is Doc from North America. I just thought of something. Forex and markets bottom. That's what I'm thinking. We got to get out of here. We will catch you tomorrow on the flip side. Doc from North America saying arrivederci. And happy trails to you, the singing trader. Until we meet again. Happy trails to you.